Okay, everyone, I just wanted to take this opportunity to make this tiny little stream, it should be relatively short, to ask a simple question. And as you can clearly see by the title of this video, it's a very interesting one. Is YouTube getting worse? Or rather, is GoogleTube getting worse since YouTube is now part of Google? Uh, the reason I ask this question is because I've seen a lot of problems on the website recently. And I think they can all be put down to like a certain couple of things that happened, not too long ago. Um, but it just seemed to be getting worse to me. So I'll tell you what I think the issues are, and maybe we can come to some sort of agreement. Do we think it's getting worse, or do we think it's getting better? I don't think it's getting better, but So one of the problems I've seen on YouTube quite a lot recently, obviously I watch a lot of YouTube videos as well as making my own. One of the problems I've seen quite a lot recently is a lot of people deciding to self-censor their videos. Now, censorship in any way, shape or form is already bad because it's an infringement of freedom of speech. But when you self-censor, I think that's worse than someone else trying to censor you. Now, what I mean by self-censorship is the deliberate non-use of specific terms. Like you might be making a video about someone who, I don't know, committed suicide or something. But you won't say the words committed suicide. You'll say they unalived themselves or something like that. You might be making a video talking about, a mass shooting. You won't use the term mass shooting. You might be talking about someone who killed someone else, but you'll say that they unalived them. Just say they killed them. And in some cases, these people have like the actual article or whatever that they're reading from on the screen, so you can see it as they're reading it. Right? And it will clearly say the word like suicide on the article, but they'll go, yeah, well, their brothers unalived themselves. It clearly says suicide right there in the middle of the screen, mate. Why are you saying unalived? You sound like a moron, because I don't think there's any such word as unalived in the English dictionary. Not to my knowledge. I'll have to get the dictionary out later and have a look. But surely unalived would be the wrong term anyway. But there's a lot of words that people don't seem to want to use, even when they're talking about stories about that specific thing. So I just want to go through a couple of those words that people are self-censoring themselves on. My screen flashing. It's really annoying. Looks like it to me. Let's turn up. Oh God, no, it doesn't. Right. That's going to be worse. I think they got this shit. Okay. Holy hell, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? I think it's because I've got really bright light behind me. Well, so here's some of the words that people are deliberately not saying, even when they're talking about those specific things. Suicide, murder, self-harm, mass shootings, paedophilia, child pornography. Why are you making a YouTube video about child pornography or paedophilia? I have no idea, but maybe you have a specific reason to do so. Maybe you're someone who does one of these like true crime channels or something like that. Well, you should know better. What else do people deliberately not say these days? Well, the most recent one is a lot of people don't even want to say the word transgender anymore, in case that causes problems. I mean, it causes enough problems as it is, without you thinking it's going to cause another one if you just say the word. And it all goes back to all of that really goes back to one thing, which I think is one of the main causes of the problems that YouTube has today. and that is monetization. Oh, and people swear. People like to not swear in their videos. You know, they'll say things like flip or whatever when they clearly mean fuck. And it goes back to monetization. Now, back when monetization first started on YouTube, it was a relatively new thing. You didn't earn very much money. You probably still don't. Um, and if you monetized your videos, you weren't like monetizing every single one. You just monetized the odd one here or there, just to earn a little bit of like extra money because you probably had a ordinary day-to-day job. But a lot of people now view doing YouTube videos as their full-time job, so they want to earn as much money as possible. So they monetize every video they make. And the problem is, going along with the idea that you're monetizing your videos, there are certain things that can get you demonetized. And that is saying specific words in your videos. So if you don't want to be demonetized for saying a specific word in your videos, you choose not to say them. Well, that's not really the right way to do it. If you don't want to be demonetized for saying certain words in your videos, don't make videos talking about the things that you don't want to say. If I don't want to mention the word suicide in a video, I won't make a video talking about someone who committed suicide. I mean, it's quite obvious. Even if it's my best mate, I'm still not going to make a video about him committing suicide if I don't want to say the word suicide. Because I am not sitting here saying my best friend unalived himself, because I sound like a fucking monkey. Of course, if I had monetized this video, if I said fuck in the first 30 seconds, I would be demonetized. I think the problem with monetization these days is that too many people put like way too much, I don't know the correct term, faith in it. You know, they care too much about it. Oh, I don't want to be demonetized, so I better not say this word. Well, that's not what YouTube is about. That's not what YouTube is meant to be about. And that's one of the reasons why I think YouTube is getting worse. Because there are too many people out there on YouTube now that only care about making money off their videos rather than making the videos in the first place. I mean, back when I joined YouTube, people were making videos purely for the fucking hell of it. Because they enjoyed making them and people enjoyed watching them. And that was it. And then when it came in that you could monetize them, people were like, oh, I can earn a little bit of money from people enjoying watching my videos. Oh, all right, then fair enough. But now it's like, I must monetize every video I've got and I must make a lot of money. No. If you want to try and use YouTube as a full-time job and make all your, revenue from monetization of your YouTube videos, just be careful what videos you make. Don't self-censor your speech, because the other problem that causes is the more people do self-censor, the more likely it is that the rest of us will be censored. So you will be the cause, by restricting your own speech, you will be the cause of infringements on our rights to free speech on the internet, which is already a bad thing. I mean, look at what happened to Twitter before Elon Musk took over. Okay, anyone who had a dissenting view about anything, or even questioned an opinion, was basically booted off the site by like hundreds of thousands of false reports by one moron and his 100 friends. And, just before Elon Musk took over, it was basically just a massive left-wing echo chamber. And anyone who had any sort of like conservative views on anything, I don't know what it was, on fucking what plants to plant in your garden even, I don't know, right, would be not on the site. And then when Elon Musk took over, he went, well, this is all fucking bullshit. This is a website for fucking free speech for everyone. We can knock all this shit. And of course, a lot of people on the left were then like, oh, Elon Musk is ruining Twitter. No, Elon Musk was putting Twitter back the way it was before you started ruining Twitter. And now similar people, well, not similar people. I'm not going to say that they're similar to those left-wing morons on Twitter. But people are essentially kind of causing other problems on YouTube now, but by doing other things. Not by being crazy left-wing idiots, but by like self-censoring themselves and caring too much about the money you might earn from your videos rather than just making the videos for people to enjoy and watch. And of course, over the years since Google took over YouTube or took over the running of YouTube, or YouTube became part of the Google family, or whatever the fuck actually fucking happened, and I started back then. The term GoogleTube is not a new word. It's been out there for many years. I started using the term GoogleTube not too long after Google took over, because they already made certain changes that made the website shitter. Because before Google took over, in whatever capacity they did, YouTube had just started the concept of making 3D videos. Yep, you can't do that now, can you? That was one of the first things to go. And over the intervening years, we've lost the ability to message other YouTube users. Right? We're now constantly told, especially like in your live chat box at the side and stuff like that, respect your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Who the fuck reads them? I mean, how many people out there have been through and read the fucking community guidelines of YouTube, or even like the terms of service? Right? I don't give a shit about this stuff when I joined YouTube. You just made videos and people watched them. That was all it was for. Yeah? And you could use it to find whatever videos you're looking for. Oh, you're stuck on a certain game. You want to know how to get past this prick, and you just can't kill him in this game. And you typed it into YouTube, and there's a video showing you some guy, I don't know, could be in America, England, Germany, wherever, playing through that particular part of the game. And you go, well, that's how you do it now. I've been trying to put bullets in his head or something like that. Obviously you don't do that. You're supposed to shoot him in his shoulder or something. I don't know, whatever. It'd be a weird game, wouldn't it? Well, you know what I mean? Well, you could find anything you were looking for. And back then, before Google took over, you had related videos. Down the side of the video you were watching, you had related videos, whichever side it was, because I don't know which way my camera is until I watch this back. One side or the other had related videos down the side. Now it's recommended videos. And that's another problem that's going towards a kind of slight downfall of YouTube, I suppose, because the recommended videos are usually like whatever the most people have watched most recently, which could be nothing at all to do with what you usually watch. I mean, I watched a Matt Rose video a couple of days ago talking about this exact same thing. People on Twitter or something saying, like, why was this in my recommended videos? And, like, all I watch is like K-pop, right? And like some weird video pops up for something completely different. Yeah. It's like, why? Take me, like, I watch a lot of gaming videos, and I watch certain people who do like face-to-face videos, and that's basically it, right? And people are like, when they read out funny signs and that have been seen in places, stuff like that. So like gaming videos, funny videos, and like sort of like political commentary style videos, stuff like that. Right? Well, some of the recommended videos I get absolutely fucking strange, and I've got no interest in watching them. It should be related videos related to what you watch, not what we think you should watch, because that is basically part of dictatorship. We think you should watch this because, I don't know, 1,000 people watched it over the last week. Doesn't necessarily mean I want to watch it. Doesn't necessarily mean everyone you recommend it to wants to watch it either. And of course, that's made worse by YouTube Shorts, because YouTube Shorts, of course, works exactly like TikTok. Don't know why YouTube is trying to be like TikTok. YouTube is a far superior website, and TikTok is for idiots. In fact, TikTok should be banned worldwide, and YouTube should get rid of YouTube Shorts. It never should have adopted them in the first place. Thanks, Google. Because as you scroll through the random shorts that are from random people all over the world, talking about random things that are not connected to each other in any way, this goes into like the website algorithm. I was like, oh, people who watch this also watch this, and people who watch this also watch this, and people who watch this also watch this, because they just scroll to the next short, scroll to the next short, scroll to the next short. So you've got like people who watch videos talking about suicide also watch videos talking about how Peppa Pig is one of the best kids cartoons around, and also watch, I don't know, some guy played Age of Empires 5 years ago or something like that, right? And then a funny cat video. So then people who like to watch funny cat videos will get all these kinds of weird recommendations because of morons like you scrolling through all the YouTube shorts. And I don't see the point in that. And that's making YouTube worse as well. I don't see why they removed the ability to message other YouTube users. I suppose one good thing they did was they kept but changed slightly the ability to do live recordings like this because YouTube had started doing that, and then I think they disappeared for a while when Google took over, and now of course they're back. And of course they have added in the live chat function so people can talk to you while you're recording the video, which is something that YouTube didn't have when they first started doing their live videos. And they obviously kept the monetization, which was a wonderful thing when it started out, but it seems to have devolved into something completely horrible, much like affirmative action in America. And if you don't understand why I say that, well, take a look at what affirmative action in America was all about and what it was like when it actually started compared to what it was like when it was finished. And you can see that it started off as a great idea, but just got absolutely shit to the point where they just went, you know what, fuck affirmative action, we'll get rid of it. I think they have actually got rid of it, I'm not sure. Any of my American viewers can tell me, I'm sure they've got rid of affirmative action. And it seems to be that like smaller YouTube channels these days seem to make better content than larger ones. Not all the time, some larger ones do make really good content. And the ones that care so much about monetization rather than just making a video seem to be more often than not the ones that want to do all this like self-censoring stuff and stuff like that. And I really just don't see the point in it. If you're going to make a video about a specific topic, you can mention what that is. If you're going to make I'll take suicide as a perfect example. If you're going to make a video about suicide, you can say the word suicide in video, especially when you're putting the word suicide on the fucking screen in the article that you're reading. One of the weird things is though some of the old things from back when YouTube used to be better in my opinion are still popping up today. I can still see them. People who are like reacting to a video or something, pausing it every 5 seconds to say something mainly useless to try and help it get past the copyright infringement issue. People still flip the image over sometimes to try and get past the copyright infringement issue. Neither of those two things ever worked. And as long as you were doing very specific things with those video clips, it was all covered by fair use anyway. And it still is today. But people today are still flipping the images over and like talking over it at times or pausing it every 5 seconds. And I think after all these years, people would have learnt by now that you don't need to do that, and it makes no difference because it's still covered under fair use. I mean, I had enough problems back on my original YouTube account, you know, that I'm still trying to get back into, by the way. Especially with a lot of my earlier videos, when I started making the slightly better quality ones, I had a lot of problems with copyright, especially with regards to the use of music. That's the main copyright infringement that you really get a strike on your account for. So the use of copyrighted music. They didn't give a shit if you showed a 10-minute clip of a BBC television program or something like that, for the purposes of review or something. Check out this 10-minute clip of the latest Doctor Who episode, and then I'll give you my thoughts. And then you show the entire 10-minute clip, and you go, right, well, here's what I think about that. Or you're showing the official release trailer of a new film, and you go, well, take a look at this trailer. And show the whole trailer, and you go, well, I can honestly say that film looks like it's going to be an absolute pile of shit. Or it looks like it's going to be brilliant. Probably not saying that these days. A lot of shit coming out these days, film-wise. So it's good to see that some of the old things from YouTube are still around, but it just seems to be getting worse and worse. And I can't be the only one. I mean, maybe a lot of people that are on YouTube today, whether you're uploading or you're watching, haven't been on for very long. But there must still be people out there, probably quite a lot actually, that have been putting videos on YouTube since, I don't know, fucking 2000 or whenever YouTube first started. I mean, you can still find my old account and find videos from, I think it was over 12 years ago or something like that. So I've been here for quite some time, on and off. And, there was people that were on it 2 or 3 years before me. And there'll still be some of those around. And if they're out there and they're seeing this, I'm guessing most of them at least, would probably agree. A lot of them have left, though, for various different reasons. And I don't think I'd be wrong in saying that possibly a small amount of them left due to the way YouTube was changing. More than like, I don't know, they got a job that required more hours, so they haven't got time to make YouTube videos anymore, or they had kids, or whatever, or they're dead. I suppose, could be that as well, Shut your YouTube account down. Or you get someone else to do it, I suppose. I wouldn't, I'd have it left up. So that people can see my videos years after my death. The last video uploaded to my account would be like a slideshow of pictures of me put to a piece of my favourite music. And then at the end, there'd be a title card with the date of my birth and the date of my death. Possibly some really funny quote or something from either my YouTube or from my life. Slideshow of pictures and videos. Maybe I should start working on that. But then if I intend to use YouTube for a long period of time before I die, and hopefully I don't die very soon. There's nothing wrong with me, don't worry. I've got terminal cancer or anything like that, not that I know of. It'd be a weird thing to start working on, but like at this point in your life, when I'm thinking that with my YouTube channel to stay around after I'm dead, I will start putting together like a best bits highlight reel. A 3-hour long video because People who would have been watching me that long would care about me so much that they'd watch a 3-hour video. There's a few other reasons why I think YouTube's going downhill, and I can't remember what they were now. If I do remember, I'll record it as a separate video and tack it onto this one or something, or just make it as a part 2. But yeah, I honestly think that, YouTube sort of lost its way somewhere between being taken over by Google and now. It doesn't seem to know what direction it wants to go. It doesn't seem to know what kind of website it wants to be. And it's like it's trying to be several different websites at once, if that makes sense. Like it's trying to keep up with the trend of the trend. Fucking hell, as if this is a trend, but try to keep up with the idea of like things like TikTok, with the like really short videos, but also still wants to have really long videos. Also wants to do live videos, like something like Twitch streaming and stuff like that. Uh, Also wants to have live chat on your videos, which must be like some other video live website or something. And it's like, well, just like make your mind up what you want to be and do that. Because I think part of YouTube's downfall at the moment, in my opinion, is also that it's trying to be too big. They're making too many changes too fast, and some of those changes might be like as a test to see if it does well. But just because it might do well with a certain part of the YouTube community, it doesn't necessarily mean it will with the rest. And that's one of the other things, right? Because I used the term then, the YouTube community. Because back when I joined YouTube, YouTube really was a community. People who were just starting to record YouTube videos, like myself, would ask for advice from other YouTube users that have been doing it for a number of years, and they would give you advice happily and freely, and tell you exactly like, oh, you want to record gaming videos? Oh well, here's how I do it. You know, you know, it's not the only way. You can also do it this way if you like, or that way. Or you want to do this sort of video? Do you think it'd be a good idea? Do you think people will watch it? And no one will be like, no fucker will watch that. I certainly fucking wouldn't. But like, well, YouTube's a great place to find all kinds of videos. Surely some people are logging into YouTube or jumping onto YouTube without even logging in and looking for that sort of video, but it's just not available, or there's not enough available. And everyone was like really polite and friendly. I mean, I used to make a series on my old YouTube called Total Eclipse, which I thought was interesting, and it used to contain clips of videos from other YouTube users. Now, I wouldn't use those clips without their permission. I would send them a message, back when you could send people messages, and say, I'm thinking of putting together this video idea about whatever the hell it is. Do you mind if I use a couple of clips of your videos? And most of them would say, no, I want no problem with it, Some would say, yeah, I've got no problem, as long as you give credit. Well, I'm going to do that anyway. But most people were just like, no, I've got no problem with it. Because the way they saw it, once they put their video on the internet, anyone could use it. But they liked the fact that I asked. But these gays, don't know why I said gays. Jesus. Gay Jesus now, there we go. These days, people don't even ask. The amount of YouTube channels there are that are out there that are just people who react to other people's videos. I mean, I suppose it is very difficult to ask for permission these days because you can't send them a fucking message. You can post it as a comment, but they might not see it because they must get hundreds of comments on their videos. They can't respond to every single one because they don't think they've got that much time on their hands. And these days you see a lot of people. It's just like reactions. Now some reactions are good, and some are bad. I mean, that depends on like who's doing the reacting, how they're reacting. I don't mean how they're reacting as like compared to oh you fucking stupid you are. I mean like how they do their reaction videos. How they present them, how they're edited, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Especially if they have like a funny reaction to something, and they're like, "Fucking can't believe you said that. That's fucking ridiculous." And like obviously what they're reacting to and what their reaction to that is, and so on and so forth. I mean, my biggest problem with reactions more than anything else, and this isn't everyone, this is just one of the problems, is that you see a lot of reactions on YouTube to TikTok videos, which just makes TikTok more popular. And I don't want TikTok to be more popular because the more TikTok gets popular, the more YouTube wants to be like TikTok. YouTube will devolve into just being a TikTok clone. And everyone will go, oh, look, this fucking website's trying to be like TikTok. Because people will forget that this website came first. I mean, a lot of people use FaceTime, right? And I know this because I've spoken to people that have this thought, right? A lot of people who use FaceTime have no fucking clue that before FaceTime, you could do that anyway with things like Skype, which is still around today and people still use it. Not very many people because everyone switched to fucking FaceTime, but the Skype sort of the current users of Skype are like the die-hard people are like, yeah, I'm never gonna fucking leave Skype. Yeah, fuck this FaceTime shit. Yeah, fuck your FaceTime. But like, I've spoken to people who believe that if you haven't got FaceTime, you cannot do video calls. And they're very surprised when I say, well, there's Skype that's been around for years. And it completely blows their mind when I say, well, if you can use FaceTime with your phone, you can do a regular video call with your phone. I mean, I know people who think you can only send picture messages to people if you use things like Snapchat. So every mobile phone that has the ability to take and store pictures has the ability to send those pictures to another mobile phone. It's called multimedia messaging service. And that's been around since the first ever camera phones, for fuck's sake. But people don't know about that now. And it's usually the younger generation. But there are some people around my age that have no idea that there's other things out there that allow you to do the same thing that you're doing. And so it's not going to be long before people like, we'll give it one more generation before people are like, YouTube? What the fuck's that? And they'll go and look at it and they'll be like, what is this? Some kind of TikTok rip-off or something? No, that was it first, mate. And it's a far superior website than what it used to be. I mean, who knows? I mean, if YouTube carries on the way it's going, which I think it is getting worse, who knows what it could be like in 10, 15 years. If it's even still around. And I'd hate to see it go, really. And I'd hate to see it devolve into being such an utter bullshit website that no one really wants to use. or be taken over by like a TV channel, or become a subscription service. Someone who are already trying to get you to pay for things. They're selling enough fucking adverts, for God's sake. Can't watch a video now without at least 3 fucking adverts on it. I watched a video the other day of an old advert I was looking for, and I had 2 adverts on the beginning and 1 on the end. I had to watch 3 adverts. Well, I didn't have to watch the last one, I suppose, but I had to watch 2 adverts because they weren't skippable. They weren't skippable. I had to watch 2 adverts in order to watch an advert. What the fuck are you doing, Google? It's getting worse as well. It really is. So I'd like to hear your views on the situation. Is YouTube getting worse? Are there any people out there that watch my content or know anyone that could watch my content? You point them over to this video so they can watch it. They can answer the question, is it just me? Or is YouTube actually getting worse? Because I really don't think it's just me. I mean, granted, it's not a very big, very rapid decline. It seems to be more like a slow downhill crawl. It's like a snail going across the path rather than a man rolling down a hill. Weird analogy, but it's like a long, slow, drawn out thing that just every now and then gets a tad worse. As I say, maybe it's just me, but I doubt it. I'd like to hear your thoughts, as always, and stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. See you then.